I'm Lisa Hesler. I'm here representing my business Marketing Magic. So a little bit about me first. I'm born and bred in Durham. I've worked since I left school. I've been both employed and self-employed, and I much prefer being self-employed. I believe in multiple income streams. Lockdown taught me that the hard way. So like I said, I'm here representing one of my businesses, Marketing Magic. And isn't marketing a funny one? Like everyone knows it's pretty crucial for business and it's an essential tool to get your message heard, but what even is it? How do we do it? Where do we start? It's very confusing. There's lots of experts out there telling you to be on TikTok or do reels, or what about hashtags? And then you've got adverts and your website, and there's a lot going on there. And I feel like if you listen to everybody, it's exhausting, it's overwhelming, it can be really expensive, and then you'll get no real work done because you're too busy in this marketing whirlwind. So it really bugs me that, because I feel like some people make marketing out to be this mystical thing that you have to spend a lot of money to get right. And I hate that. I think that marketing should be enjoyable, and I think it should be fun. That's why I chose this career when I was 19, because I thought it would be fun. So I want to cut the crap when it comes to marketing. I want to make it really easy to understand. I'm going to break it down into 3 main elements. And then when we do it this way, our marketing becomes focused and no longer random. So, first of all, what is marketing? Now, don't worry if you're not quite sure, because even the big wigs at the Chartered Institute of Marketing struggle. A couple of years ago, they put a survey out to loads of marketers, asking them what their definition of marketing was, and no 2 answers were the same. So if they can't get it right, what chance have we got? So, in a nutshell, marketing is getting the right message to the right people. Like, that seems lovely. It's dead easy to understand, and it's very much more digestible. So the most important bits here is it's the right message to the right people. So today, that's what we're going to talk about, figuring out who our right people are, what our right message is, and I'm going to help you through it. So I've also got a download that I'm going to send you that's going to kind of complement the speech today, so you don't have to make loads of notes. It's got prompts in there. So if you got an email off me on Monday, you will get the download. If you did not get an email off me on Monday, because some of them bounced back, please will you email me if you want the download. That's my email address there. I've also got some business cards if anyone wants to grab one at the end with my email address on, and just send me an email saying I want the download, Lisa. So 3 main elements of marketing. It's who we're talking to, what we're going to say, and where we're going to say it. And if we can get those right, and if we can crack that, then we crack our marketing, and that makes marketing so much easier. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to explain those 3 main elements. They're all in the download. So I'm going to help you all the way. And I'm always available on email if anyone did ever have any questions. I don't mind if you email us to ask us any questions. So the first step, the first of the 3 main elements, is probably the most important one. Getting this bit right is getting marketing right. If we crack this one, then the rest of it, what follows, is easy. So it's who we're talking to, your audience, your target market. A lot of people think that a big target market is a really good thing, and unfortunately it's not, and I'm going to explain why. So I worked with a guy who he did car repair work, like body work, like scratches and dents and stuff like that, and he was amazing at what he did. He got it back perfect. So I said to him, who's your target market? And he said, anyone with a car. So I thought, right, I'm going to play with you a little bit here. So I said, right, so that's a 17-year-old who's just passed his test, whose insurance is more than his car, a 50-year-old who's got a top-of-the-range BMW and it's his pride and joy and he loves it, and my grandma who goes to the co-op once a week in her little Citroen. So those 3 people have got very different needs from their cars. They're going to have different budgets that they're going to want to spend on their car. And then I think if one of them got a scratch or a bump on their car, they would have different reactions as to what they're going to do about it. You know, like the 17-year-old might not really care. The 50-year-old definitely will care, and my grandma might not even notice. So I do love my grandma. So when you've got that big, massive target market and you've got such a wide range of different people, to get your marketing message out to those people, It's really hard. You're going to have to use lots of different marketing channels to get to them, because the 17-year-old be on TikTok, my grandma's not on TikTok, the 50-year-old might be on LinkedIn, so you've got to use lots of different channels to get your message to that wide range of people. Your message will become diluted and almost vague. It'll have a lot less impact because you've got that many different people that you're trying to talk to. It's a much bigger effort just all round in general. It's expensive and it's exhausting, and that's not easy. Like, we are here to make marketing easy. So smaller target markets really help us to make our marketing mega focused, and then our marketing has a massive impact because we're talking to that one person, and the marketing just becomes much more effective and a lot easier. So, for example, I did some work with a guy who was a dog walker. So he was putting out messages, I'm a dog walker, I'm a dog walker. And then we kind of talked about this and talked about his different types of customers, and he decided that he wanted to target people who bought a dog in lockdown and were now going back to work after they'd been furloughed. So that person's never left her dog. She's always worked from home, she's never left her dog. So now she's worrying about leaving her dog when she goes back to work. It's a long day, she's got a cream carpet, there's a lot of worries there for her. So he changed his message to, instead of saying, I'm a dog walker, he changed his message to, are you worried about leaving a dog when you go back to work? And that really spoke like directly to that lady, and it really kind of pulled on her heartstrings, and she was like, yes, I am worried about leaving my dog when I go back to work. So when I did this work with the car guy, we decided to use the 50-year-old whose BMW is his pride and joy, because if you can imagine, if he got a scratch or a dent on his car, he would be mortified, he would want to fix it ASAP, he would want it back to like factory perfect condition. So doing this work really helped that car guy, trying to get his message to all those people, just talking to that one guy. We gave him a name, he was called Brendan, you know, so it is much more effective. I've got a bit of a bigger example just to prove my point. British Airways have 6 different types of customer. So one is a businessman who travels for business, and one is a retired couple who travel for pleasure. So what they're going to say to those 2 different types of customers is very, very different. What those customers want from British Airways is very different. So they have a whole marketing campaign targeting the businessman and a whole marketing campaign targeting the retired couple. Now, I must stress that British Airways have an absolutely massive marketing department and a massive marketing budget, so please don't have 6, because we're here to make marketing easy. So it was just an example to kind of prove my point. So how do we then apply that to our businesses? So we need to figure out who is our first class customer. Now, a first class customer is a very, very special type of customer who maybe doesn't come along as often as we would hope. This is the type of customer who you love them as much as they love you. You look forward to their appointment. They really value what you're selling. They never quibble on the price, they pay their bill on time, they might tip you, they'll tell their friends about you, they'll leave reviews about you, they'll recommend you, they almost become your little cheerleader. And then other things to consider when you're deciding who your first class customer is how much profit you make from that customer, because we are all here for money at the end of the day. But think about profit and not turnover, how long the work takes you to do, and how much you enjoy doing that work. And then how all of that aligns with your goals for your business or your own personal goals. So imagine if we could get 100 first class customers, like life would be pretty sweet. Like, that's kind of the plan here. So what we're going to do is, once we know who our first class customer is, then all of our marketing is going to revolve around them. It's going to become slick, it's going to become focused, it's going to have a massive impact on that one person. It's no longer random, and it's easy. So focusing the marketing in that way does make marketing easier, it makes getting customers easier, and it makes making money easier at the end of the day. Now, some people might have more than one type of customer, like naturally. So like, say, an apprenticeship provider, their customers will be the young person who's going to do the apprenticeship and the employer who's going to take them on. If you find that you have more than one type of customer, to make it easy on yourself, I would recommend picking one. and focus on one, and let's really get to know that person, and let's get our marketing slick and running for them. And once you're happy that they're looked after in marketing wise, then let's look at customer number 2 and do the same for them. Just make it easy for yourself. The customer also isn't always the user of whatever it is that you're selling. So your customer is whoever makes the decision to take you on, whoever's going to pay your bill at the end of the day. That's who we're trying to get to. Now, if you target businesses, we still want to try and narrow it down to an actual person. So who in that business makes that decision to take you on? What's their job title? That is the person within the business that we're going to target. So we're trying to get it down to a person. Now, like I said, all this is in the download and there's prompts, so don't feel like you have to remember it, because I feel like I'm going to bombard you a little bit today. So once you've decided who your first class customer is, the next step is to get inside their head. So first of all, who are they as a person? I always think it's really helpful to give them a name. So the name might just be the name of that customer that you're thinking about. Or a guy I worked with, he had 2 customers that he couldn't decide between, so we called his customer Dave Kelly, and it was a Dave and a Kelly, and we just mushed them together. So giving them a name, it will help you. This person is then going to become your best friend, your new best friend. We're going to create a customer persona. We're going to understand what makes them tick, why they love us so much. And then that'll help you make decisions in your business. So say if I'm designing, say if my customer's Sophie, and I'm designing a Facebook post, I'll think, right, will Sophie read this? Will this image catch Sophie's attention? If someone rings us selling advertising in a magazine, will Sophie read this magazine? So it really helps us to make decisions about marketing in my business. So then we also want to think about their age. Now, because we're trying to make it a small target market, this bit really freaks a lot of people out. Try to keep it within 10 years if you can. I know that people really struggle with that bit, but really try, because it's all about focusing your marketing to make it easy for you. So how old are they? What about their gender, their location, like where do they live, where do they work? What does their career look like? Are they employed? Are they self-employed? What industry do they work in? Have they worked there for a long time? Do they dot around jobs? What does their family look like? What does their spare time look like? Do they have any spare time? What does their average day look like? Where do they hang out? And by that I mean online and offline. So we're really going to get an idea of who they are as a person, and then we're going to kind of start to really get inside their head and see what makes them tick. So the first thing we're going to look at is their needs. Now, you might go, well, it's obvious, I'm a hairdresser, they just want their hair cut. And you will have one glaringly obvious need, but dig a little bit deeper, because this is really where the magic happens, because what you'll find is they've got lots of little needs as well. So I might just want my hair cut, but I'm nervous about going to a hair salon, so I want a mobile hairdresser to come to me. Or the dog walker guy, his customer's dog might be reactive to other dogs, so she needs a dog walker who just walks one dog at a time. So when you come to this bit, really take your time with it, because figuring out those little needs is, like I say, where the magic happens, and we're going to use that at the next step. So it's very important to take your time on this one, and this is in the download as well, so it'll have some prompts on there for you. So then the next thing that we're going to look at is their pains. So this is before your first class customer, before Sophie found me. What was her pains? What was she worried about? What problem did she have? What was she frustrated about? What was kind of keeping her up at night? So like the lady who was going back to work and going to be leaving her dog, she was worried about leaving her dog. And the lady who is nervous about going to a salon, she's anxious about going to a salon. So those might not seem like a big deal to you, but they are a big deal for your customer. And think about what their pains are, but also think about their emotions that they're feeling linked to those pains, because that's when we're going to start tugging on their heartstrings. I know that sounds a little bit brutal, but that's really what marketing's about. So, again, take your time with that one, because those little pains are going to be really, really important at the next step. And then this one is objection. So this is before your customer found you. What was the reasons why they would not buy from you? So whether you're in a contract with someone else, did they presume you were expensive? Is parking a nightmare? Did they maybe not even know that they needed you? I did some work with a lady who's a life coach, and her customer is kind of stuck in a rut and doesn't really know how to get out. So that person doesn't know they need a life coach. They just know they're stuck in a rut that they can't get out of. So that's important to try and understand about your customer as well. So once we've done all of that, we need to figure out, what do you do to help your customer meet those needs, tackle those pains, and overcome those objections. So in the download, what I would do is go back to where you've just wrote those 3 sections, and next to every point, write down what it is you do to help that customer meet those needs, get over those pains, and overcome those objections. And then from there, we're going to take it one more step further, and then we want to kind of pull out of that what our key benefits are. So these are the main points that you want to get across to your new first-class customers. So these are going to be the really important things you want them to know, that you know is important to them because it's important to Sophie or whoever your customer is. So these key benefits is going to be really, really important, and this is going to be the foundation of the next step. So we're going to go on to the second of the 3 main elements of marketing. So we've done who we're talking to. Now we're going to talk about what we're going to say, otherwise known as your marketing message. Now this bit is tricky. This bit, one took me 2 weeks. It drove me up the wall. So this bit can be really, really tricky. What you're going to try and come out with is either one like snappy, sexy strapline that summarizes it all together, or a bunch of content ideas. So you might have 5 key benefits. So you've got 5 content ideas for your business. So I've got some tips for you. So the first one is, it's not about you. Now I see people do this all the time, and they'll say, I've been in business this many years, I've got this qualification. Your customer doesn't care about that yet. They'll research that when the time comes. Your customer, we're all selfish. I'm selfish. Like, I don't care about that. I care about, what are you going to do for me? What problem do you solve for me? So don't think about it from what you think about it from your customer. What are you going to do for me? Use those key benefits as the foundation, because we know that they're important to Sophie, to our first-class customer. Talk to their needs and their pains, and talk to the emotions. We want your customer to go, yes, that's me. I'm worried about leaving my dog when I go back to work. And I've got one more tip for you, and this one's a little bit like Marmite. It gets a little bit of bad press, but I personally think it's a really good tool. AI. So I personally use this ChatGPT. It's free, it's amazing, it's changed my life. Not everybody kind of gets on board the AI train, but just hear me out. So we've all been there when we're looking at a blank bit of paper thinking, what am I going to write on Facebook today? It's painful. So this is a really good way to get you started. These are some examples of the things that I've asked ChatGPT to write for me. So write a strapline for a hairdresser who targets people who are nervous about going to a salon. Or write a paragraph on the benefits of whatever my key benefit is for whoever my first-class customer is. You can ask it to write you anything. You can ask it to write me a Facebook post for so-and-so, write me a blog post about house training me puppy. It's amazing. And it might not, the end result might not be what you use, but it's definitely a starting point for you. I hope everyone can still hear us, sorry about that. So, I'm going to take it a step further. So the hairdresser, I asked ChatGPT to write me a strapline for the hairdresser who works with people who are nervous about going to the salon. And this is what it came up with. Bringing the salon experience to your comfort zone, your hair, your home, your confidence. Like, it's pretty good for giving me within a minute, you know. And like I said, you might not use the end result, but it'll be a really good starting point for you when you're staring at that blank page. So I did the same for the car guy. I asked ChatGPT to write me a strapline for the car guy. So he came up with as if he's a person, sorry. Revive your pride and joy. Flawless repairs for your cherished ride. And then they came up with another one, scratch your pride and joy, no one need ever know. Like, they really talking to that guy, that Brendan with the BMW. And then I asked it to do the same for the dog walker guy. So the first one was his, are you worried about leaving your dog when you go back to work? But then look what ChatGPT came up with. Worry-free work days for you, positive play for your furry companion. It's cute. What dog man wouldn't love that? So yes, ChatGPT, some people really hate it, but I absolutely love it. It's totally free, so feel free to use it. So we've done who we're talking to, what we're going to say. That's tricky, it'll take you some time. So the third of the three main elements is where we're going to say it, otherwise known as marketing channels. So this is any route or path or platform that you can use to talk to your person, your customer, your Sophie. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water, sorry. Okay, so I started to write down every marketing channel I could think of, and this is what I came up with. Like, I know it looks scary. This is in your download, so you don't have to write it all down. Now, I don't expect anybody to use all of them, that's just suicide. You will burn yourself out. Like, pick like 2, 3, 4. I wouldn't even go over 4. Like, we're meant to be making it easy. Just keep remembering that we're trying to make it easy. So I'm going to go through these with you. Now what you might need to do is do a little bit of research into whether the platform fits with your customer. You might need to Google LinkedIn demographics and see if they match Sophie. So on the left hand side of the screen, we've got all of the online marketing channels. And on the right hand side of the screen, we've got all of the offline marketing channels. So in this top corner here, I call it social media corner. So we've got, I mean, this has grown a lot in the last few years. We've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Threads is a new one. And then there's lots of other elements that go with those platforms. So you've got content and design, hashtags, reels, groups, adverts. So there's a lot going on in social media corner. Now, I am not on every social media platform because I know my Sophie's not on every one. So I just go on the ones that Sophie's on. So social media corner, and then bang in the middle, we've got your website. So if you think your customer's going to go to Google to find you, a website's going to be really important for you. So around your website, we've got SEO, we've got adverts, we've got blogs, we've got podcasts. So again, there's a lot linked to that one platform. If you do think that your customer's going to go to Google to look for you, Google Business Profile, it used to be called Google My Business. It's free and it gives you a really big presence on the first page of Google. So even if you're not on, just go on because it's free. It's really good to help you get found online. You can put pictures and keywords and stuff like that in as well, so it's really good. Online listings, so if I was a dog walker, I would Google dog walkers County Durham. And I'll find some dog walkers, but then I might also find some websites, like a directory where you can list your business. A lot of them let you list for free, so then I would go and list myself on them as well. So Googling what you do is a really good way to see where you might fit in as well. What else have we got? So we've got emails, newsletters, informative videos. So one of my customers is a physiotherapist, and he did some videos on kind of stretches for your back because everybody's got a bad back. So he did these videos and it was like easy stretches that you can do in the home for your bad back, and he got loads of people coming to him after that because they did a little stretch and it helped, and he thought, oh, he knows what he's talking about, I'll go and get an appointment with him. So online webinars, workshops, masterclasses, this is a really good way to give people a taste of what you're offering for free. Like, everyone loves a free masterclass or a free something, don't they? So if you put something out there, I once was looking at a course, this online course, and I was umming and ahhing because it was really expensive, and they offered me a free masterclass. So I thought, oh yeah, totally going to do that. So I did the free masterclass, and they kind of just told me what they would cover in the course, but that was enough for me to buy that course. So giving them like a little taste of what you're doing is a really good way to get your message out there. Competitions, who doesn't love entering a competition for a free meal for two on a Friday night at your favourite restaurant? Like, they work really, really well. And I mentioned blogs, and I've also got here guest blogs. So a blog is, so Google will look for a page rather than a whole website. So a blog is a really good way for you to have a page on your website that's full of keywords about a particular subject. So I might do a blog on why is a website important for a small business. That's going to be packed with loads of juicy keywords about websites and small businesses. I'm coming across as helpful because I'm telling you why it's important, but then you know I build websites now, so it's a nice little way to plug what I do. Now, a blog can be a lot for you to manage on your own, so an alternative is offer to write a guest blog for someone else. So if I'm a pet shop, I might offer to write a blog on keeping your dog safe on fireworks night and ask the vet if they'd be interested in it, or ask the doggy daycare if they'd be interested in it. So all of them people have my customer as well. And that's a really good way for me to offer something useful to their audience, and then they now think, oh, she knows what she's talking about. So it's a good way to kind of get your message out there. Right then, so right hand side, good old fashioned offline marketing. I feel like, and I really hope that it's going to do a big circle. Like when I first started in marketing, this is all we did. You know, none of this, like the internet wasn't even invented when I started doing marketing. But I think now this can kind of become a little bit flooded. So now if I get something through the post, I'm like, oh, what if I ordered off Amazon? Quickly open it. Or if I get an email, I'm like, oh, another email. So old-fashioned offline marketing. We've got events, networking events, markets, industry-specific events. Does your customer have their own events? What about a trade show like today? What else have we got? Who else has your customer? So I kind of touched on that with the guest blog. Think about where else does your customer go on an average kind of day, week, month, whatever it might be. So I know I keep using dog examples. I don't know if you've noticed that I'm a dog lover. So say if I'm a dog walker, I might go to my pet shop, my vet, my groomer, a doggy daycare, and just make friends with them and ask them if they want to like give me some of your business cards, I'll give you some of mine. So that's a good way to get in there. Brochures, catalogues, flyers, posters, banners. Like I say, the good old-fashioned kind of offline marketing stuff that you don't really see a lot these days. Now, obviously, this one it can be a little bit more pricey, especially brochures and catalogues and bulky stuff like that. What else have we got here? Door-to-door, really good old-fashioned marketing. Phone calls, text messages, local advertising. So when I talked about the customer and their location, where do they work, where do they live, is there a little local magazine that's going to have a little cheap spot for an advert that I can place in there? So, I know there's a lot there, but just keep thinking about your first class customer. We only want to pick the ones that are the most important to them. Right, where are we at here? So, we've done who we're talking to, what we're going to say, where we're going to say it. So now it's the fun bit, putting it all together. So I know I keep banging on about this download, right, but it is good. So in the download, this is what it looks like. So the first section is that customer persona, all of that stuff that I've just been talking about. It's got all the prompts about who are they as a person, their needs, their pains. I've got a bit in there about marketing message and marketing channels. That image of all the marketing channels is in there. Then the next step is the marketing strategy. So this is pretty much those three elements all on one bit of paper, who you're talking to, what you're going to say, where you're going to say it, on one bit of paper. All neat, right in front of you, keep you right on track with things. And then also I've got a section on how are you going to get there. So, do you need to do a little bit more research into your customer? Do you need to research some of those channels? Do you need some training on some of those channels? Do you want to look at your competitors and see what they're doing? So, taking that one step further, for more help, my download that I keep going on about, on my website, I've got a whole page on free tips. So I've got tips on Facebook groups and Canva and all sorts. So feel free to have a little nosy on there. The video of this session is also going to be on my website if you want to look back over it, if you forgot something. And then if you did need some training on any of those marketing channels or anything like that, HubSpot and Skillshare offer free training and the amazing on the millions of different subjects. So if you feel like you need training, go to the free places first, like they are invaluable. I go on HubSpot all the time. And then if you want to take it to the next step, I have recently teamed up with an ex-colleague of mine, Hayley Campbell, and we've created Momentum Vibes. And we're about to launch a marketing planner, and we are very excited about it. So in the planner, it's going to be a tool for you to be able to manage your marketing over the course of a year. Now, it's not dated, so you can start it at any time. And in the planner, it's going to have everything I've just talked about, and then so much more. In the planner, we talk a lot about a customer journey. So when you put your message out there, if you put a post on Facebook or put a flyer through someone's door, 4% of the people that see that are ready to buy there and then. 37% are like kind of interested, but they're just not ready to buy yet. So the customer journey is all about taking that 30%, 37% on a little journey and looking after them and putting them in your pocket so that when they are ready to buy, it's you that they think of. We also talk about setting marketing goals, budgets and finance, how to monitor your market to see what's working and what's not. So then you can adjust your budget if Facebook ads aren't working for you. Let's put that money somewhere else. And then just overall, it helps you to stay on track every day, stay on track of your marketing every day. I personally can't wait because I'm great at advising other people, but I need to keep on track of my own marketing. So yes, we're very, very excited about this planner. So you can register your interest to be the first to hear when it's up for sale. 4 to 6 weeks, we're thinking. www.momentumvibes.co.uk. So that's a wrap. If anybody wants to connect with me on LinkedIn and Facebook, please feel free. If you want to drop me an email for the download, or if you want to send me your marketing message for some advice, or if you find something amazing that ChatGPT has done for you, please let me know about it. If you want a business card, I've got some at the front, and there's a lovely lady in red at the back who's got some more business cards if you want to grab some of her. And that's it. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.